And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the campus of Thomas Jefferson University in the East Falls neighborhood of Philadelphia. It's the CACC tournament all under one roof. The semifinals and the finals for the men and the women this weekend. Tim Jimenez and Mike Andrusen here with you for the pregame show. Should be a fun one, Mike. We're going to start off with a rundown of the games we have today. First, we got the number one team in the South, Thomas Jefferson University, the Rams, taking on the number two team in the North, the Dominican Chargers.
I'm looking forward to an exciting contest there. Jefferson's going to be tough to beat, but Dominican will play. They're scrappy. They're going to give it a go.
That's absolutely. Game number two later on, 2 o'clock, will be number one team in the North Post taking on the number two team in the South, Holy Family, for the women there. And then later on today, it's the men. 5 o'clock tonight, it is Caldwell taking on Chestnut Hill. And then at 7 o'clock tonight for the tip-off, game number 4, Jefferson taking on Bloomfield. So again, we're starting off with the women here with the first couple of games. And this is a Jefferson team that has just been just steamrolled through the conference throughout the season. They have high aspirations for this weekend and possibly beyond.
If they can come through this weekend unscathed, there's a good chance that they might host the regional tournament here next weekend. I'm sure that's the unspoken about thing in the locker room. They know they got to take care of some business today and tomorrow in order to get to that point to host the fifth banner in the Jefferson history here for women's basketball.
Sure, this is a Dominican team they're taking on here that they're looking to make a statement. Obviously, you want to keep their season going here and continue and potentially win the tournament.
I'll tell you what, Dominican, they take on the whole atmosphere of their institution, just like the men's team. They're going to fight. They're going to scrap. Mills, Suarez, Howard, all talented players. Some all-CCC conference, all-CACC conference players. It'll be exciting to watch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the women here for Jefferson, so the way the teams got here, Jefferson took care of business against Caldwell the other night, 68-43. Dominican beat Chestnut Hill 79-69. And for this Jefferson team, just going through some of the players we have here, got to start with the CACC Player of the Year, also the Defensive Player of the Year, Haley Meinl.
It's interesting that you would win both of those awards, but it just goes to show you the kind of career that she is building here. And we've been doing this for a couple of years. You kind of talk about her every season, it seems. Yeah, right. And it's a great career. She's an amazing regional player as well.
Yes, for Haley Meinl, scoring this season her 1,000th point of her career. And just she puts on quite the show on the defensive end. Cassie Murphy also here as well. I mean, Sam Yensha, these are all players who have made the all-conference teams. So this goes to show the type of talent we have here.
A lot of big resumes over there. Don't forget Morgan Robinson. She's second in the NCAA in assists per game. You throw in the fact that they've got a Hall of Fame coach behind the bench. It's going to be exciting. Robinson and Meinl were here for the last championship before COVID. So, they want to, continue the brand to post another banner up there. That'll be interesting. And they've got the people to do it.
They have the people to do it. And what's interesting also is they have not lost at home. And, well, it's not a bad time to host the conference tournament if you're undefeated at home.
It's not. You hear about that all the time in the NFL. You get to sleep in my own bed. You get to, know where all the food is going to be. You know what time you're in the locker room. You know what time your shoot-around is. You're comfortable with the surroundings. It means a lot. When you have to travel, all of a sudden there's a whole new schedule. What do? You hope it get there on time. When are we eating?
Yeah, right.
It just could throw a wrench into the mix, but these players have been traveling all year. They can do it.
They can, for sure. And we have, again, a Dominican team here that is a really good team, of course, this season for Dominican. 19-10, 13-5 in the CACC, 7-8 away, 1-0 in a neutral site. 2 straight victories for Dominican to head into this one. And again, we talked about last time out against Chestnut Hill, 10-point victory.
They've won 6 out of the last 7 coming into this. Tanisha Mills, first team All-CACC. Suarez, Howard, both talented players. They can get things done in there. They're third in the conference in offense at 69 points a game. They're 7th on defense, giving up 62 a game. It'll be interesting to see how they can devise their game plan Coach Diener's been doing this for 13 plus years. He's made the tournament all 13 of those years, which is a tremendous feat. But he kind of knows the landscape of the CACC. He'll figure something out.
For sure. And, excuse me, just a little choked up.
We haven't even tipped off yet.
We haven't even tipped off, and I'm losing my voice. So yeah, Dominican started the season 3-4. Since then, they've gone 16-6. Really a tremendous turnaround for this team in terms of how they do. They are third in the conference in scoring at 69 points a game, third in three-point percentage, field goal percentage, fourth in three-point percentage, third in terms of free throw percentage, seventh in rebounding, a team that passes the ball well, and 10 steals a game. So what's interesting, these are the top two teams in terms of forcing turnovers, forcing
Correct.
the issue, and that should be an interesting matchup here today when you have these two solid defensive teams.
Solid defensive teams is an understatement. You know, when you look at what Jefferson has done this year, they've locked it down, second in defense at 54 a game. You know, Haley Meinel's long. She can get her arms in. Cassie Murphy's got long arms. They get them into the passing lanes. Makes things a little tougher to negotiate, that's for sure.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how this one goes and how the tide turns for either squad. So, that's game one.
Game
Again,
one.
12 o'clock at noon. Let's go to game number two. It's Post and Holy Family. Again, Post, the number one team in the north, taking on Holy Family, the number two team in the south. So, Mike, what are you thinking there? Again, really good programs here, and it should be a nice matchup later on.
Well, the Eagles, it's their third straight year. They're the top team in the north. So they've announced their presence with a little bit of authority, saying, we deserve to be here. It'll be interesting to see what they can do going forward. Sharia Haynes is on this team. She's an all-CACC performer. Pagan can rebound with the best of them in this conference. They had some players that didn't see the court November and December. They're back in the lineup. It's their third straight semifinals appearance. They had 19 wins last season. They got 20 wins so far. It's a program on the rise.
Yeah, for sure. So what we have here is the Post 20-9 again overall, 14-4 in the conference, 10-5 away from home, 0-1 on a neutral site. They've won their last 6. And this is a Holy Family team, 20-9, 14-4 in the conference, 8-4 away from home, 1-0 as well, 2-2 on a neutral site. They have won one straight, and this is a Holy Family team. We were talking about this before the game. The CACC Rookie of the Year, such a terrific player in Sirfos.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to watch her play in person. I've only got a chance to watch her online. Coach Bernadette Lakaitis is, thrilled to have her. Whenever you get a Rookie of the Year on your team, oh boy, you're probably thinking this is going to be good for the next 3 years.
Okay.
Holy Family likes to run, likes to score. They're 12-0 when they score 70 plus. There's a big number to watch for on the scoreboard. If they can kind of get that up. We were talking with some of our staff here before the game. Coach Ben Dinallo, who's going to be on the color call, he's thinking that if Post can play a certain way and not get it to 70, it's going to be kind of in their favor. But Holy Family can ramp it up. They want to get back to those glory days. They win championships here at Holy Family.
They do. Yeah, and Sirfos is a big part of that. Again, this season, 13 points a game, shooting 52% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc, 83.5% from the free throw line, nearly 5 boards a game, 3 assists, and nearly 1.5 steals. So Sirfos is a player to look out for as well. So it should be an interesting first section of the day. Again, we have the women playing. And then the men later on, what are you looking forward to? Again,
oh, wow.
All the seeds here, all the top 4 teams for each side, men and women, are all here. So for the men later on, what are you looking forward to seeing?
It's with Caldwell and Chestnut Hill. There's 3 new participants in the semifinals this year.
Right.
So when they tell you about the NFL, how half the teams make the playoffs, well, this year, 3 new teams, Caldwell, Chestnut Hill, and Bloomfield, are in the semifinals. I know we're going to get cut short here, but Caldwell, number 1 team in the north. Chestnut Hill, they played a really close 2-point game during the season. Jefferson and Bloomfield in the night game will be a rock fight. I look forward to that game the most out of this 4-game schedule here.
Sure, and some of the players we're going to be seeing later on. Eric Timko, for example, from here at Jefferson.
Yes.
Such a dynamic player.
Last year we didn't get a chance to see him at the championship. He walked in a boot. That was a little bit unfortunate that Herb McGee's career kind of ended with Timko in a boot. But, on the Caldwell side, Evans, Jarnell Rancy, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player in the Year. I've got a chance to call a couple of their games this season. Love what they do. Coach Johnson, run. He wants to run.
Yeah.
And you throw in Bloomfield, Gerald Holmes is about as a class as you can get in this area of the country for Division II basketball. He always has his guys prepared, always.
Yeah, for sure. Jimmy Riley, again, taking over Coach Herb McGee. So for him to have this program here, a lot of the same players, but some, growing pains in terms of a new coach. You got to figure things out in terms of how the guys are going. And for Jefferson, they're coming in as strong here to end the season, really ending on a much more consistent note. And this is something Coach Riley has been looking for all season long.
He's got it figured out. I mean, he's got the Herb McGee game plan. You kind of throw in a little bit extra here, a little bit extra there, puts his own fingerprints on the program, and people want to come here because of that. They really do.
Sure. And looking good here. We have a good crowd coming in here at the Herb McGee Arena here on the campus of Thomas Jefferson University. Of course, a lot of the students here from Jefferson. So you have this home field advantage.
Yes.
You can't understate how important that is here for a program.
There's a lot of people on campus. I walked into the building. There's people in the fitness room. There's people throwing around baseballs inside. It's, you kind of want to be here, support all the athletes. Usually the athletic fraternity is really good about that.
It is, and it's great that it's March. We have some exciting basketball on tap today. Again, we're very close to the first tip-off. It'll be Jefferson taking on Dominican here for the women's side. And we have a couple of guys we'll be tossing to at some point in the play-by-play and the color analyst. And you have I don't know about a nickname, but
No.
I mean, it's a little bit of an ice cream type of
Jerry
thing.
Milani. It's on our play-by-play for the women's games. Ben Dinallo on color commentary. Andrew Byrne on the floor. We got a top-notch staff of players in our game up here. It's a great weekend. If you like college basketball, this time of year is a lot of fun.
It's as good as it gets. And again, we're approaching the national anthem will be coming shortly as we're winding down here at the halftime show. Not halftime show. It's the pregame show. So
you'll be seeing us for another 8 hours.
Yeah, exactly. A long day of basketball here.
Yes.
At Jefferson University, right here at the Herb McGee Arena. So we're getting there, and I don't know if we're able to toss to Jerry and Ben, are we? Because it'd be great to talk to them.
We'll just wait for our instructions from the truck.
Shout out to the BTV crew here. They always do a wonderful job.
All right, so Mike and Tim setting us up perfectly. Ben, J.R. Dinallo, and Jerry Milani here from the Gallagher Center on the East Falls campus of Thomas Jefferson University, and it's great to be here at this arena. And as the guys said, when you have a home team competing on both the men's and the women's side, there's going to be a little extra energy. And this Jefferson team, JR, feels like a fait accompli, but Dominican might have something to say about that.
Well, I think first and foremost, Mike Andrews had said it. There's no better time of year than right now. This is a great day of basketball. 4 great games, starting with arguably the best team in the region in the Jefferson Rams. And what you just said about Dominican, they're a team that has just gotten better and better as the season has gone on. Coach Diener does a terrific job, and they've got a special player in Tanasia Mills. Joining her in the backcourt is Alexis Suarez. They've got to survive early. If they can and get this game close into the fourth quarter, the pressure then totally weighs on the Rams. That being said, the leadership that Jefferson has, starting with head coach Tom Shirley, but Morgan Robinson, what a tremendous point guard, leader of this team, and obviously the player of the year in the CACC, Haley Meinl. We have a great one in front of us.
Yeah, the guys talked about him, and I know we're going to go to the national anthem now, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Excited that you're with us here, wherever you might be tuned in to CACC Championships here, semifinal day. As Mike said, 8 hours of us. You're going to have a great time. We'll be right back with you in just a bit.
And the South, number 1 seed, Thomas Jefferson University Rams. At this time, we ask everyone in attendance to please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. And now let's meet the starting lineups for Dominican and Jefferson. At one guard for Dominican, a 5'4" junior from Stony Point, New York, number 2, Olivia Levy. A junior guard for Jefferson, a 5'9" junior from Swedesboro, New Jersey, number 2, Morgan Robinson. At guard for Dominican, a 5'5" sophomore from New City, New York, number 4, Tanisha Mills. At guard for Jefferson, a 5'7" sophomore from Temecula, Pennsylvania, Emma Krasinski. At guard for Dominican, a 5'9" first year from Noctok, Connecticut, number 13, Kayla Howard. A 5'11" forward for Jefferson from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, sophomore, number 21, Sam Yencha. For Caldwell, a graduate guard, a 5'10" from New Fairfield, Connecticut, number 23, Kristen Techlitz. At forward for Jefferson, a junior, 5'10" from Warrington, Pennsylvania, number 24, Haley Meinel. At guard for Dominican, a 5'6" junior from Pogahog, New York, number 24, Alexis Suarez. And at center for Jefferson, a 6' sophomore from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, number 34, Cassie Murphy. Dominican are coached by Bill Diener. Jefferson coached by Tom Shirley.
All right, so that was the public address giving us the starting lineup. So you're all prepped now, thanks to Mike and Tim, and the starting lineups out there. And you noticed there that Thomas Jefferson, you didn't hear any senior, right? You heard 4 all conference players. So this conference has 13 teams. So let's say 10 players a team to play, 130. 4 of the best 15 players, plus the coach of the year, are on the same team. And that translates to 16-1 in the conference.
And you just said it in a very kind of nondescript way. No seniors. That's amazing when you really step back and think about how dominant they've been in the conference for really the last 2 years. And one of the best teams in the region, and they're going to bring just about they're bringing their starters back and just about the entire team back. It's a terrific job that the coaching staff led by Tom Shirley has done. But these kids, what a terrific job. You know how long the season is, and they've been able to stay the course and play really well, you know, from start to finish. Should be a terrific game.
The Rams, the number 1 seed in the South. Dominican, the number 2 seed in the North. Rams win the opening tap. They're the home white with the red, or the blue numbers and the blue trim. Dominican in the visiting black with the red numbers, red trim. Meinl drives off glass, no good. Offensive rebound is attempted by Robinson, but it's off the superstar junior and out of bounds.
Well, one of the things that Jefferson does so well is they hit the offensive glass. Dominican really has to do a good job today of rebounding the basketball.
Pressure here put on early by the Rams. Dominican swings it around now to Levy, who runs things, a sophomore from Stony Point, New York. North Rockland High School, as you know, is the best high school. Maybe it's where I went. Kayla Howard flips it over to Levy. Here's Mills up top. Mills drives. Little floater is good. And Tanasia Mills, the sophomore from New City, also Rockland County, the home county of the Chargers. And a steal by Techlitz. Pressure this time working for the Chargers.
And you saw Dominican come back with 2-2-1 full court pressure and get a quick turnover.
Techlitz for 3, buries it, and if Kristen Techlitz can get that 3-point, she's got that range for sure, get that going. Could be some interesting times here at the Gallagher Center.
And this is exactly what Dominican needed. A good quick start against a quality team.
Yensha in the lane off glass and off the front rim, no good. Back quickly comes Mills. Mills in transition. Layup off glass, no good by Howard. Here's Robinson.
An aggressive start by the Chargers. Almost seems to have taken the Rams by surprise with that 2-2-1 pressure.
Robinson second in the entire NCAA in assists per game. She's got double-doubles and triple-doubles and all kinds of stuff all over her stat sheet for the year. Kaczynski, now to Robinson, 4 to shoot. Robinson drives, off glass and in, and Morgan Robinson gets the Rams on the board.
Now Kaczynski might have gotten away with an offensive foul. Little bit of a push-off, but a terrific finish by Morgan Robinson to break the seal for Jefferson.
Levy flips it across now to Suarez. Back to Olivia.
Well, I'm sorry, Jerry. First time these two teams played, Jefferson came out in zone. They've started the game today playing man-to-man.
Here's Techlitz driving baseline. Flips it out to Suarez. 4 seconds to shoot. Little floater in the lane by Mills. And hot start for Dominican.
Good finish by Mills, but a good defensive possession by Jefferson, really closely guarding all of Dominican's players.
Robinson resetting here to Yensha, or to Meinl. Robinson, corner now to Yensha. Baseline jumper in and out. And collected by Howard, who turns it over. Little jumper in the lane in rhythm. Won't go. Offensive rebound by Murphy. And they reset. Here's Meinl. Meinl step back 2. Misses. Tipped by Kaczynski, but recovered by the Chargers, who look to run. 2-on-1. Blocked away by Meinl. Who's the defensive player of the year, Coach?
Wow, and you just saw her ability to track back as you see Suarez make a nice pass to Howard. Meinl able to get all the way across the lane to block the shot.
And not get the body to commit the foul either. Here's Techlitz driving and the offensive foul. So if you had any question, JR, that the defensive player of the year was Haley Meinl, I think everyone kind of understands why.
Well, and you know, it's such a boost when you have arguably your best offensive player, then be your best defensive player. Everybody then just buys in. Everybody wants to play defense when you see your leader doing it.
Robinson now. Down low to Murphy. Murphy, tough when she gets the ball down in that position. That time Techlitz did a good job of keeping her in front.
Techlitz almost was able to kind of bank that off of Murphy's leg for a turnover.
Here's Kaczynski now. The turnaround by Meinl, no good. So a cold start for Jefferson offensively. Here's Teklitz. Stolen away and gotten it back is Teklitz. But another steal by Yencha. This Rams team defensively just tough to solve.
Tenacious. Just defending every pass so far.
Kaczynski, little floater, won't go. Rebound to Howard. Up to Mills. Mills. Teklitz again. Now to Howard, tries a three. Buries it. Kayla Howard, the freshman from Naugatuck, Connecticut, makes it 10-2. Chargers early on.
And you see a different kind of press here. Now you see 1-2-2-3 corner court by the Chargers, showing different looks. Not even 5 minutes old. Three different defenses played by Coach Billy Dino.
Murphy down low, can't finish, gets the follow and gets it to go. So Cassie Murphy, again, gets that position down low. Missed the first one, but still made it happen.
And the offensive rebound. Turnover quickly right back by Morgan Robinson.
Yencha also in there on that play. Here's Meinl flipping it now off of Kaczynski out of bounds. It'll stay with the Rams, 4:50 to play. There'll be a media timeout here, and Coach, what have you seen so far from this Dominican team that makes you think they can keep this up?
Well, I like what they're doing in terms of changing defenses and employing different defenses. During their regular season contest, Dominican played almost exclusively man-to-man, showed a little half-court zone in the second half. But today already, after made baskets, you see 2-2-1 and then 1-2-2 full court pressure.
We'll go to a break. We'll be back with you. You're watching the CACC Championship on the CACC Network. And I think it was appropriate there that we just saw the Dominican ad running there, because so far they've really taken it to Jefferson. We've talked so much in this pregame about all these superlatives for the Rams, but the Chargers certainly have gotten the better of play so far here. Here's Kaczynski. Around to Morgan Robinson. Howard working on Meinl there. Now Meinl gets it. She fires up a three. Back rim, no good. Offensive by Murphy. Follow up by Robinson off the glass, no good. Murphy, another attempt. So 3 tries here. 3 for a quarter, but no luck. 3 on 2. And in transition, the layup by Suarez.
Great job by Tanasia Mills on the run out. Super pass. You know, Jefferson is doing everything well but shoot the basketball. They are so ice cold to start this game.
2 of 13 early on from a team that leads the conference in scoring. And there's a jumper by Kaczynski, and we didn't really talk about this, but leads the conference in scoring without hitting a lot of three-pointers. They're last in the conference in three-pointers.
Yeah, it's really an interesting thing how they're able to get to the basket as well as they are.
Suarez gets the roll. Everything working for the Chargers offensively. They've made 6 of 8 and lead 14-6.
Well, and that's how you stay and you know, win basketball games. You know, you got to do the little things well. And right now, Dominican's shooting it really well.
And the answer by Jefferson on the opposite side. And it's 14-8 as Morgan Robinson gets her first bucket of the game.
Now, Dominican out of that timeout has played zone those 2 trips.
Layup down low to Ndukaba, who just came in, the junior from Brooklyn, making an immediate impact. Yencha. Meinl. Up top to Robinson. Robinson again. Kaczynski. Murphy. Kaczynski baseline jumper. Offensive rebound knocked away. And again, I think the Chargers doing the things to make the Rams take a shot that's not the ideal shot for them.
Well, and you know, the three-quarter court pressure coming back into zone, it slows Jefferson down. It doesn't allow for a lot of good dribble penetration.
Another baseline jumper by Murphy this time won't go. And Ducaba the board. Suarez leaves it for Chidinma. Then the little baseline J by Alexis won't go. Lost it to Kaczynski. See if the Rams look to run a little bit with Robinson. Robinson. Yensha lost it out. I'm going to say it's tipped by Suarez out of bounds. 17 to shoot. The Rams will keep it.
The offensive rebounding by Jefferson, though, is something Dominican really has to clean up. Get a lot of second chance opportunities.
Meinl drives, reverse. First points of the game for the junior from Warrington, Pennsylvania.
And you see Meinl's ability to just silky smooth down the baseline with a sweet reversal for her first basket of the game.
Lena DeMarsico, the junior from Stony Point, New York, three-point threat. 0 is in there for Dominican, up on the high side. Transfer from Alliance, formerly Nyack. Mills. Suarez. Suarez tries a long three with the shot clock winding down. The offensive rebound, though, just comes to Mills, and she lays it in. She has 6.
Well, Yensha just kind of overran that rebound a little bit, and Mills was the beneficiary getting the bucket. And you see another defensive change for Dominican, coming back here and playing man-to-man.
Robinson flips it across to Kaczynski. Emma looking and stolen away by DeMarsico. 2 on 3. Lena will through the true two-pointer, no good. And the rebound to Kaczynski.
Now these defensive changes really seem to have Jefferson just out of sync enough offensively.
Murphy off glass, left hand.
Solid finish by Murphy. Good entry pass to her. And with everything that we're saying about them not playing well or shooting well, you know, Jefferson only is down 6.
Here's Kaczynski. Down low to Yensha. And a travel is the call. So really clean first quarter here. Just 1 foul against either team, and I think that's our first traveling violation as well. Just a well-played game between, you know, talking about 2 of the top 4 teams in the league.
Yeah, and I think Dominican has just come out with the attitude that they're going to throw a punch in this first quarter, and they've landed. And they are able to, you know, to finish this quarter with a lead. This is everything that Billy Diener, as the head coach of Dominican, could have asked for coming into today's game.
Got about a half-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, so the Chargers are content here to hold for 1 attempt with Mills. 6 seconds. Mills drives. Lena for 3. Off the back rim, no good, and the Chargers will take an 18-12 lead after the first quarter. We go down to the court now to our own Andrew Byrne. Andrew.
Thanks so much, Jerry. I think JR hit on this point right at the end of that first quarter. Dominican has played so well, but Jefferson, despite some struggles from the floor, is hanging around. It was around the huddle with Coach Bill Diener at that media timeout. He was imploring his club, you got to box out. A lot of offensive rebounds, second and third chances for Jefferson. A good first quarter for Dominican, but they have to clean up the glass. We'll see if they are able to make those adjustments in the second quarter. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, thanks, Andrew. And the Rams and the Chargers going at it here. And one thing Andrew brought up there was that that offensive rebounds, and it's 4 rebounds offensively for Dominican and 5 for Jefferson, but it feels like Jefferson has had the better of it on their offensive glass right now.
Yeah, and they're just, because of their shooting woes, they're able to try to get more offensive rebounds, but they've missed a lot of those putbacks as well. All that being said, I think that the thing I'm focused on is Coach Diener and his staff saying to his girls, we're gonna step out of our comfort zone. We're gonna play some different defenses, give the Rams some different looks, and I think it's kind of catching Jefferson by surprise, and they're a little bit out of sync offensively.
Here's Mills. Leaves it for Howard. Back outside to the sophomore from New City. She drives and blocked away by Meinl, one first-team all-conference player up against another there, and Meinl comes up with another block.
Her second block of the day, and the great thing about Meinl as a defensive player, she can play guards, she can play forwards. She's so versatile on the defensive end.
Here's Keefus in there for the first time. Number 3 came in late in the first quarter. Nice feed down low to Robinson. So you think of Robinson feeding her teammates like Keefus. That time it was the other way around.
And Emily Keefus is a, outside shooting threat, and she looked like she really wanted to shoot the ball. Kudos to her for putting it on the floor and creating an easy basket.
Backdoor as Levy gets her first points of the game.
Super job by Kristen Tecklitz, catching it in the pivot, able to make that wide open pass for the layup.
And if there is a three-point threat on this team, it's Emily Keefus. 48 three-pointers last year, 24 this year, and she makes it a three-point game.
Well, she has the potential to really stretch the Dominican defense, and you saw right there, she was able to knock down that three ball.
Pass a little too tall. Good idea by Levy, but just a little out of the outstretched hands of Howard.
But you have to, really question the last two possessions for Dominican. They were able to get people behind the Jefferson defense. Got a layup the last possession. This one, a turnover, otherwise it would have been another layup.
Keefus, and going to be a little hand check there. So the first hand you're allowed, and then when you do a little more, they're going to get you for that foul.
And it was right in front of the official. A really easy call, as you see it here, as Olivia Levy's just going to put two hands on Keefus off the dribble to pick up her first foul.
Here's Robinson. Martha Apple in there as well, number 12. And a lot of motion there. They're going to say it's a defensive foul, though, on Mills trying to get around the screen.
And a good call, as you can see it here. Watch a good shove. And maybe Apple sold it a little bit, but Tanasia Mills was able to really extend her arm on that play, and that's where the foul got called. Give Martha Apple a Best Supporting Actress Oscar, though, I think, maybe.
Knocked away that time by Howard, and they'll say it'll stay with the Rams with 15 to shoot.
Good job by Kayla Howard going through Martha Apple to knock that ball out of bounds.
Robinson, jumper from the elbow is good. 8 for the junior.
And it's not something that Morgan Robinson does like this, the scoring.
Off glass and in, score the basket, a chance for a three-point play for Alexa Suarez.
And Suarez, so smart, just a little hesitation, was able to freeze her defender and get by Robinson to make the basket. Pretty move by Alexa Suarez.
Who finishes the three-point play, and it's back to a 4-point lead after Jefferson had cut it to 1 for the first time. Little transition there off the extra offensive or extra defender in the front court, and the Rams able to take advantage.
And that time you saw full court 1-2-1-1 pressure where Dominican doubled the first pass, almost got a steal, resulting in the layup though for Jefferson, but another defense by Dominican.
Suarez off glass, no good, almost. Got a chance for another three-point play. Now you're seeing the aggressive play by Dominican paying off, starting to pile up a couple of fouls here on the Jefferson side.
Well, and Alexis Suarez has really been aggressive in this quarter, trying to get things going to the basket. And the redshirt junior really is starting to assert herself on the offensive end for the Dominican Chargers, who keep this lead. And the longer that they can keep the lead, stay in this game, as we mentioned earlier, that pressure just gets tighter and tighter on the Jefferson Rams.
She's made all 3 of her free throws, the 80% free throw shooter. Puts it back to a 4-point Chargers lead. They've led wire to wire here. Yensha flips it back out. Here's Robinson. Apple. Blocked away by Tecklitz. Quick move here down, one-on-one. Nice step through, but the layup is missed.
And that was Meinl, just with great defense, forcing Suarez into a very difficult layup attempt.
Robinson. Tipped away and stolen away by Suarez, who's 4th in the conference in steals. Levy is blocked. She'll get to the free throw line.
Now, Alexis Suarez doing it on both ends of the court. You see her pick the pocket of Morgan Robinson, and right away, headman pass to Olivia Levy. And there's Haley Meinl. This time, you mentioned on her first block that she did it without drawing the body contact. There, she did get some contact, resulting in her first personal foul.
Levy, 70% free throw shooter on the season. First free throw is good. Olivia, the nursing major out of Rockland County. Several Rockland County players on this Chargers team where the school is based in Orangeburg. And Coach Diener has always been able to keep the best players in that county home and playing in Dominican.
He's also been able to get a lot of quality North Jersey kids as well. And again, that's within that surrounding area as well.
Here's Robinson.
Now out of that made free throw, Dominican back in 2-3 zone. Another defensive change for the Chargers.
Flung around to Meinl. Yensha lost it. Levy comes out of there with it. Here's Suarez. Alexa drives. High off glass, won't go. Yensha the rebound. Robinson gets it across. Robinson surveying now to Meinl. Yensha pulls it out. Back to Robinson, 10 to shoot. Here's Morgan to Kephas. Morgan, 2 seconds, 1, and stolen away right at the 30-second shot clock, so well defended there. Suarez gets the steal.
Fantastic defensive trip by the Chargers. Contested every pass, almost got a shot clock violation, and then the turnover.
Here's Levy. Pass goes too high for Tecklitz as she was kind of hounded there, tied up with Robinson, and we'll see the return of Cassie Murphy. And Martha Apple did a nice job in her few minutes of play.
You know what, partner, the other thing to note on the defensive side for Dominican, every time the ball goes into the post, regardless who catches it on Jefferson, there's a swarm of black shirts not allowing an easy turnaround, almost just forcing them to kick the ball back to the perimeter.
Here's Kephas, quick trigger, 2, in and out. Rebound to Howard. Suarez leaves it for Levy. Suarez tipped away from Ndukaba, but out of bounds off the Rams. We'll see if they reset the clock or they just consider it a continuous play. And we'll have a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here. And just quickly talk about our second game we have coming up. I know the guys went over it before, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what Holy Family, as the number 6 team in the region and Post, will do. You mentioned it a little bit before the top of what Post might be able to do, but I think that either matchup we get, any of the 4 matchups we get here, will be really exciting tomorrow.
Well, and you have really different styles in game number 2. I think Post, they have a lot of athleticism, and they really want to get things going to the basket and really get after you defensively. And that's not to say that Holy Family doesn't want to do that, but they run some really good sets. They have quality play both inside and out, and they are led by one of the best players in this conference. I mean, Skylar Surface has been terrific for Bernadette Lakaitis this year. And I mean, just as a freshman, has really led the Tigers back to prominence. As you just mentioned, you know, the second team in the South and the sixth team overall in the region. They've had a terrific year. Should be a wonderful game following this one.
And I don't know if I remember the number 1 and 2 seeds coming out of both the North and South in both the men's and women's in a long time. There's usually a 3 that slides in there, but this year we've got 1-2 and 1-2, and 2 right now for Dominican is leading things by 8 over 1 with a 29-21 lead by Ndukava's layup.
Great out of a timeout play, getting that layup, that almost uncontested layup. Just a terrific start here today by the Chargers.
As the foul committed there by Mills, that's her second, so something to watch here. Third team foul, both teams with 3. So 2 of the least fouling teams in the conference as well. And a 5-second violation, so we've seen a very few turnovers in this game, but we see a rare 5-second call.
And it's really not something that you see against Jefferson, but just couldn't get anybody open out of that out-of-bounds play. Credit Dominican, but wow. What a big turn of events here.
Floater down to Ndukava, lays it up and in.
Out of the media timeout, 4 straight points for Dominican to extend the lead to 10.
Biggest lead of the game. Here's Kefis. Leaves it for Yensha, can't finish. And Ndukava the rebound and a foul.
It's right now, it's just anything that can go right for Dominican. That's what's happening. As you see, you know, Sam Yensha 100 times takes that layup, might make it 98 or 99. And today, Jefferson's just not making those shots.
10 of 26 from the floor, a lot of them close in like that. Dominican, 12 of 21, 57%, almost stolen away. DeMarco gets it back. Here's Suarez. Suarez, corner to Howard. Extra pass to DeMarco. 2-pointer is good. And the junior from Stony Point gets on the board, and it's a 12-point Chargers lead.
Ndukava, a great inside-out pass. And here comes Dominican again.
Pass a little too much, out of control, but I think Coach Diener's okay with that, because his team is running, they're doing things. That's a turnover, but it stops the play. I think he's okay with that, the way this team has been playing.
Absolutely. It's an aggressive mistake, and the ball went out of bounds. You can come back and play defense.
Meinl off glass, can't get it to go. Yensha, the follow, it's knocked away from her. And will stay with the Rams.
Well, and you see Meinl attack the baseline side, but again, another missed layup. And then great job by Olivia Levy not allowing Sam Yensha the putback.
Robinson from 18 is good. That's a big bucket right there to stem the tide a little bit for Thomas Jefferson.
And you know, even though she has 10 points, this is not what you want from Jefferson. You don't want Morgan Robinson to be your leading scorer. It speaks to their offensive issues in this first half.
2 assists for Morgan. And the offensive rebound by Howard keeps things alive. DeMarco for 3 from the corner. No good. Tipped out. Meinl can't grab it, and Levy does. Levy again. Howard for 3. No good. Yensha the rebound.
Now Sam Yensha, they needed that rebound. Did Jefferson.
Robinson lays in. Score the basket, a chance for a 3-point play. I know if you're a Jefferson person, not necessarily want Robinson to be your leading scorer, but someone's got to score the points. Might as well be her.
I was just going to say, that is it in a nutshell. Somebody's got to put the ball in the basket, and you see Morgan Robinson right now realizing that she needs to take a different role for her team today, and she just aggressively blew by her defender and got to the cup for the layup.
That one rattles off, a rare miss for the near 80% shooting Robinson. But they get the offensive rebound. Burkhart, little spark off the bench. The sophomore from Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, out of the Reading area, Coach.
Did you like saying that? I think you did.
Very much so.
I think you enjoyed that.
Very much so. She sinks the basket, and it's 33-27. Here's Levy. Howard. Nowhere to go with it, ends up to Levy. Nice pass down low to Ndakaba, but stolen away by Robinson. And now the held ball is going to go back the other way. And Jefferson, which just a little bit ago trailed by 10, has a chance to close to within a possession or two right here.
Well, and you know, it actually got up, I think, to 12. It was 33-21, and they're on a 6-0 run. And here it is again. You know, you see Morgan Robinson needing to make a play, doubling down on Ndakaba, forcing that turnover. I mean, she has been everything for Jefferson in the first 20 minutes.
Robinson trying to get it to Murphy down low, but she just wasn't open. They want to feed the post. Now they do, and the little back door, and Yensha lays it in. So a nice move there to get the bucket.
And good patience by the Rams, wanting to get Murphy the ball. Wasn't open, as you correctly said. Reverse the ball, get a high screen. Yensha wide open for the layup.
Feed out to DeMarsico. She drives and now leads it out. Extra pass to Levy. Now the extra pass. 7 to shoot. Here's Levy. Three-pointer, Suarez. Nothing but net for Alexis Suarez, who buries the three.
And what a big shot. Jefferson on an 8-0 run. They needed it, did Dominican. That three ball by Alexis Suarez.
Minor with a good take. She'll draw the contact. Not sure if that was going to be a shooting foul, but it's the 5th foul anyway. And it will put the junior from Central Bucks South to the free throw line.
Well, Haley Meinl loves to catch the ball on the left wing or left baseline and put it in her left hand and go to the basket. You know, Dominican may need to just try to take the baseline away from her and force her dribble drives into the middle of the lane when she's on the left side of the floor.
She had 10 points the first time these teams played, a little under her 16-point average, 4th in the conference, but now it's a 5-point game. Shot clock is off, and Levy is dribbling down some time here for the final shot. Here's Tecklitz. Mills drives, blocked, but a foul. The take by Tanisha.
And a tough matchup. Kaya Burkhart on Tanasia Mills. And Mills almost like licking her chops right there, setting that player up. Good head and shoulders fake, going to the basket on the baseline side. Just a real quality move by the sophomore Mills.
Haven't heard a whole lot from her in the second quarter. She had 6 first quarter points, and now her first tally of the second. And it comes with 2.4 on the game clock. And she's now at half of her season average, which is good for 3rd in the CACC. And with 2.4 seconds to go, a little offense defense here to get one final attempt for Dominican, but out of bounds. It'll stay with the Rams. That was dangerous right there.
Yeah, it almost resulted in a turnover that could have given Dominican one more opportunity.
And instead, Meinl will heave and come up short. So Thomas Jefferson rallied a little, but the Chargers held it off, and they hold a 38-31 lead. And we are going to go down now to our own Andrew Byrne with Dominican coach Bill Diener. Andrew.
Coach, what is it about March that allows Alexis Suarez to have big games? A couple of years ago, the championship, she had 20 when you won it all. She has a game-high 12 in the first half.
Growth. Lexi has definitely grown as a person. She just steps into big moments. She's a competitor. You see it on the defensive side. She's making some great steals, initiating some offense. and she's really doing a good job on the offensive side of getting to the glass and knocking down shots.
Seems in the first quarter and half of the second quarter, Jefferson was content with jump shots. They started to drive late in the second quarter. How do you make the defensive adjustment in the second half?
I think we're just going to stay where we are right now. You know they're going to make shots. Our thing is that when they miss it, we got to make sure we get the rebound. And then on the offensive end, we just had to do a better job of making decisions with the ball. We got 3 really good looks on some threes there that could have changed it, but I think what's happening on the offensive side is we're just forcing the ball, trying to make something happen. We just got to be a little bit more patient on the offensive side.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll send it up to the studio where Mike and Tim are standing by.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. Tim Jimenez, Mike Andrews in here. And wow, I mean, you know, this is a Jefferson team. During this winning streak they've had, they have dominated. They've, I believe, beaten opponents by 20-something points on average. But this is a Dominican team here that came out to play.
They certainly did. There was no scared out there. You're playing at a time of the year that you're comfortable with. You heard Ben Donallo say, you know, defensive changes. They made some changes. They started in one defense, went to another, went to a third, try to confuse the Jefferson players, and they're making shots. They're making shots. The Jefferson players are not making shots at the moment. Now, Jefferson shooting, well, they picked it up. There's 4 of 14 to 31, but in the first half, at some point, they were 2 of 10, 2 of 12. So early, you miss shots. All of a sudden, Dominican picks up a little steam. You heard Coach Diener mentioned about Suarez, that she's an amazing competitor. She's got 12. It'll be a lot of fun when they come out for the second half, that's for sure.
It will be. And, you know, uncharacteristic for Jefferson. We've seen this throughout the season. You know, I'm here on campus covering their games, and they'll have quarters like this, and they come out with a big quarter. But, again, you got to give so much credit to this Chargers team here. Again, you're going up against one of the top-ranked teams, not just here but the entire country. But, as you mentioned, Alexis Suarez at 12 points here to start this thing out on 4 of 8 shooting. And this is not a team that's playing scared.
We have some team stats coming for you if you're not able to follow along. With Dominican 14 to 26 from the floor. Jefferson 14 to 31. From behind the arc, Dominican 3 of 9. You know, we saw Suarez hit that big three-pointer at the end. You know, 1 of 3 for Jefferson. You told me this really isn't Jefferson's game behind the arc. You know, if it gets tight late, do you come out of that, or do you stay into your mode of, you know, trying to get the extra pass and find Meinl underneath, find Murphy underneath? What is?
It should be interesting, and I think for Jefferson, one of the adjustments is going to be forcing more turnovers and getting points that way and on the fast break. That's something Jefferson didn't really do that much in terms of the first half like they're used to. We have 10 Dominican turnovers, only 8 points off of turnovers for Jefferson. Now, they're +1 in that category, but honestly, throughout the season, what we've seen is they are plus more than 1 point. They're plus 10, sometimes 12, 13. So Dominican, and I think part of it is Jefferson didn't make them pay with those turnovers. We saw how many easy baskets they missed.
Easy baskets, you're right. Earlier, I had in my notes earlier in the game, in the first quarter, missing layups. The whole first quarter was just kind of uncharacteristic, like you had said, you know, but they're a quality team. Jefferson knows they're going to play 4 quarters in this.
Right.
It might take all of 4 quarters to come out with the win, but, you know, look for the second half, the unsung, you know, the playoffs. It's always who's coming in off the bench. Endicabo, big minutes for Dominican. You mentioned Burkhart when she subbed in. She gets to play quality minutes. Coach Donallo had said on the broadcast, Robinson, all of a sudden, Robinson scoring points.
Right.
And maybe that's not a role she's used to, but she'll take it. She's a leader. She's put up a banner before. She knows what it takes. It's funny. In playoff sports, does it change much? You just get it done. I don't care who gets it done. You just get it done.
Yeah, exactly. Again, when your team is struggling on the offensive end and making shots, Morgan Robinson was one to step up. So look at the individual numbers here. For Jefferson, Morgan Robinson led the way with 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting, a couple of assists. Cassie Murphy with 6 points and 5 rebounds. She was 3 of 6 from the field. And we talked a lot, of course, about Haley Meinl, the CACC Player of the Year. It's been a struggle for Haley to start this one.
She's got 4 points on 1 for 6 for shooting. Scorers know that they're going to score. You know, everybody tells you for the scores, you got to keep shooting, you got to keep shooting. They know she's going to score. I mean, she's not going to go 1 for 25 in this game. She's got too much talent. But the shots are going to start falling. I've heard how many times in this gym or over at Caldwell we've heard Herb McGee come out of the break saying, we got to make more shots.
Right.
We got to make more shots.
It's that simple.
Yes. At some level, I'm sure it is, but it's a great game. You know, 38-31. If you're Dominican, Coach Diener talked about the competitive growth of some of their players. They've got to get rebounding off the Jefferson misses, and on the offensive side, got to stay patient. You know, when you give away the ball on the offensive side, it's a free pass for the other team coming the other direction. It's an unforced error in tennis. You want to try to minimize those as much as possible.
Right. And again, Haley Meinl, only 4 points. So that's something to look out for in the second half. How will she turn her game around? Emily Keefe is coming off the bench. She did hit the sole 3-point shot from this Jefferson team. 1 of 2 overall, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc. Kaya Burkhardt, as we mentioned, 2 points off the bench. Martha Apple, 2 off the bench. Emma Kaczynski and Sam Yenchen. This is another thing to look out for. They both started. Only a combined 4 points for their 2 starters, and Kaczynski and Yenchen combining for 2 of 8 from the field. So that's part of it as well.
She's a 12-point-a-game scorer. She's got to bring it. She's got to bring it in the second half. You know, whether you're working off screens, setting picks, pick and roll, whatever your offensive go-to move is, you got to put it in. Dominican's playing at a high level right now.
Yep.
Can they keep it up for 4 quarters? Or is the pedigree of the Rams going to just wear them down and wear them down and wear them down? I mean, Dominican played a really strong first half, and they are up 7. You know, Ben had said it, you know, there was a 10-0 run. All of a sudden it could have creeped up a little bit further, and then you look and Jefferson scores 2 easy baskets, and we're back down to 6.
Right.
So you're not going to shake the Jefferson team.
That's right.
No.
But they had, there was that opportunity. They were on that run. They were up big. I think they had the wide open 3, but they missed it. Who knows how that could, and momentum-wise, how that could have changed things in terms of get the momentum back on their side and force Jefferson to just a little more pressure on them.
Now, you watching this Jefferson team throughout the year, put on your prognosticator helmet. What's Tom Shirley going to say in his interview coming out of the break?
I'd like to think we've been talking about the defense turning into offense and that the Rams have not been able to fully maximize, especially for Meinl and Robinson, how they force turnovers, how they get steals, and then they'll just run out the other way. We haven't seen too many of those easy runouts for Jefferson. I think Coach Shirley's going to talk about that in terms of turning defense into offense, and that was lacking, and that is a huge part of their game. That would get them back into this one. But as we talked about, they do not shoot threes. So it's not like they're going to go bombs away to get back into this one that way.
They're not that team. But since February 1st, 74 points a game. Yeah. They're well under that now.
Right.
I know it's playoff time. You got to lock it down. But we do see that some of the players are out. And we've got Andrew with Tom Shirley. Andrew, we'll throw it down to you.
And we welcome in Coach Shirley. Coach, that media timeout in the second quarter heard you imploring your team to attack the basket more, not settle for the jump shot. Should we expect that plan of attack in the second half?
Well, we keep shooting the way we're shooting. We have to go to the basket and try to generate some kind of offense because we're not shooting the ball very well right now.
Defensively, what should we look for as you try to contain Suarez, who had 12 in the first half?
That's a good question. If you get the answer, come tell me on the bench. I mean, we went to our switching man, and they were beating it. We weren't talking well enough. Then we went to the 1-3-1. They hit us from the corner. So, we're going to change our defense in the second half and see what happens. But, yeah, we're conscious of who's hurting us. We just got to stop it.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
You're welcome.
We'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Andrew. Talking to Coach Shirley about that. Of course, wanting more out of his team when it comes to the defensive end. That was interesting how he mentioned they weren't talking.
He picks up on that. He's got a good bunch of staff members down there. They probably all picked up on it. The communication aspect of it is going to be key. It has to be. You know, Dominican's fast. They're working around the perimeter. That was interesting. Attack the basket.
Attack the basket.
That's Robinson's game. It really is.
It really is. And stopping Alexis Suarez, again, 12 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2, from beyond the arc. Hit all 3 of her free throws. Tanasha Mills with 8 points as well. Another strong performance. Kyla Howard with 5 points, 5 rebounds. Olivia Levy with 4. Membuka with 4 points and a couple of rebounds. Teklitz with 3 points. That came early in that first half. And DiMarcico with a couple of points as well for a Dominican team shooting nearly 54% from the field. Wow.
You shoot that well, you're going to win a lot of games. You really are.
And we're getting close to the beginning of the second half here, and I believe we're going to toss it over to our broadcast partners, Ben and Jerry, right, Mike? Is that right?
Jerry and Ben.
Jerry is
what I was told.
Or JR and Jerry, or Jerry and JR, and however you want to do it.
I like fish food, by the way, if anybody's curious.
There's no ice cream in this room here, though. We'll have to talk about that.
If we're going to be Ben and Jerry, I think we got to get some Ben and Jerry's in there.
There's salad in there, but I'm not so interested.
Tim, you're here a lot at Jefferson. Can you make a call? Maybe we get some Ben and Jerry's in there. Hey, by the way, I was in the hospitality room. Coach Shirley has the line. We may not say a better line than what Coach Shirley said in his interview with Andrew Byrne about, hey, if you can figure out a way of stopping Alexis Suarez, let me know and come and tell me on the bench. Hey, Dominican, this is about as good of a 20 minutes as they could have hoped for coming into this gymnasium today. Shot the ball well, changed defenses so much in that first half, which I gotta believe led to Jefferson's, inaccuracy offensively. They're just not in sync because they're seeing so many different defenses in 20 minutes. All that being said, partner, they're still down 7, and it took a little bit of a run from Dominican in the last 90 seconds to push the lead back up. I mean, they got the lead, I believe, down to 3. So we saw a very interesting 20 minutes, and I think we're going to see Jefferson not panic, but the defensive pressure. Let's see if that tries to spark them offensively. Dominican, as Coach Diener said, got a rebound. They're doing a good job of forcing perimeter jump shots or contested shots in and around the basket. You got to finish the possession by rebounding.
And it seems like they have made a concerted effort off those live ball turnovers. Haven't been that many of those, but just off missed shots of any kind, of pushing the ball, pushing it, try to get numbers, understanding that the Rams are going to put a little pressure on you, try to keep you from getting the ball over half court. But once they do, they're going right to the basket.
Yeah, and I think that's a recipe. You've got to figure it out offensively. You can't just do one particular thing, and if it means you got to attack the glass, or you got to, dribble drive, or you got to knock down open shots, whatever it's going to take from Jefferson to change the momentum. Because right now, Dominican has been in control of this game from a tempo and from a momentum standpoint from the door. They've got to change that and really change it before we hit the media timeout. They've got to change that momentum.
All right, as we wind down here the final 45 seconds, don't forget, this is the first of 4 games today on the schedule. Got the other women's semifinal coming up at 2 o'clock or a little bit thereafter. There'll be 30 minutes in between games. And then the men's semifinals. Got the number 1 and number 2 seeds in the North and South in the women's division, and same in the men's division. So expecting a lot of action like we've seen here over the first 20 minutes of play over the next few hours here. We appreciate you being with us here on the CACC network and CACC basketball on BTV. It's done a great job of production here. 9 cameras bringing you the action, the most ever for our CACC tournament. So kudos to our crew right here. Jeff Fowler and team keeping a high level for the CACC championships to match this high level of basketball we've seen here. And coming out, it'll be Dominican with the first possession. They go with their starting 5 of Levy, Mills, Howard, Teklitz, and Suarez. Here's Teklitz trying a 3. Rims out. And Yencha the rebound.
Now, good trip defensively by Jefferson. Contested 3.
Robinson gets it quickly the other side, so I don't think Dominican could, or Thomas Jefferson could have done any better than a stop and a basket.
And an aggressive start to the third quarter. You see Jefferson not only playing man-to-man, but an aggressive man-to-man.
Suarez answers.
Boy, and you see Suarez just no fear going right at Morgan Robinson.
Kaczynski now down low to Yencha. Comes up short and tipped out of bounds by Murphy, and the Chargers get it back.
And you see Tom Shirley really getting to Morgan Robinson saying, hey, you've got to stop this kid. We can't let Suarez continue to get to the basket.
Yeah, tried a couple of different things, as Coach said, and so far none of them have worked. Here's the extra pass to Teklitz for the open three. Back rim. Scramble for it. And it'll be Howard who gets the offensive rebound.
Well, and there's just a hustle play by Kayla Howard. And when things go your way, you get those loose balls, those 50-50 balls.
Teklitz drives this time. Teklitz, well, may not be a blocked shot, but I think Meinl altered that shot by coming in with help.
Well, and we may see them go to the monitor here. Did this hit the rim? It did not. It's a good call. It's a good call. There was no there was no rim touch by that shot by Kristen Teklitz. Good 30-second shot clock violation call.
Here's Robinson. Feed across to Kaczynski. Layup off glass, no good. Murphy, the follow with the left hand, gets the good roll.
Well, and Cassie Murphy just kind of Johnny on the spot, able to corral that loose ball with the finish.
And this will be a backcourt, but it's stolen away instead. Kaczynski is fouled, and she'll get to the line. So sometimes on those backcourts, you just assume, oh, it's a backcourt, I'm not going to go get it. And the other team gets it, and they turns it into a live ball turnover.
Well, and you see the pass go through two hands, and you're right. Emma Kaczynski just never gave up on the play. And Olivia Levy just kind of slowed down enough. And Kaczynski was able to keep running. And if she can knock down these two free throws, again, the lead is down to 3.
Thomas Jefferson up and down the lineup here. Really good free throw shooters, but she misses that. A 70+% shooter, the health sciences major out of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. Between Allentown and Scranton for your... Oh, stolen away again on the feed, and the steal and the layup attempt is no good, but a foul, and the pressure for the Rams working on that possession.
Well, you just see Olivia Levy not looking, and Tanasia Mills threw the pass. And all of a sudden, here is that momentum shift. And it's because of full court player-to-player defense by Jefferson, and it's starting to take its toll on Dominican.
Third foul on Levy with the 2 quickies. Robinson with 3 quick points here in the first couple minutes of the second half. And it's down to a 2-point game. And getting it over to Mills. And layup is good.
Now, Kayla Howard.
By Howard.
That's a terrific finish by the freshman. Cassie Murphy right there.
Meinl the answer. No good. Robinson the offensive rebound. Putback won't go. Murphy fighting in there for it. Teklitz saves it. Great play by Kristen. Knocked away by Robinson, and the Chargers will keep it.
Well, Jefferson again did everything on that trip offensively but put it in the basket. And Dominican finally was able to block out enough to get that defensive rebound.
Levy. Suarez. Suarez. Back out to Olivia Levy, 7 to shoot. Levy lost it off her foot out of bounds.
Now, good reach in defensively. And I think it's I'm sorry, it's Yencha. It's Sam Yencha who was able to kind of get her hand in there and strip steal Tanasia Mills.
Lionel looking.
Sorry, Jerry. Back in the 2-3 zone are the Chargers.
Here's Robinson. Kaczynski. Little floater is good. Emma Kaczynski with 5.
Now Kaczynski was able to just find that seam in the zone and that little floater for the bucket.
3-pointer by Howard for the answer. Buries it. Nothing but net for the freshman.
And 2 buckets by Kayla Howard really to kind of stem the tide as the Rams have come out gangbusters here to start the third quarter.
And a foul on Tecklitz, who didn't love it. Tecklitz doesn't like fouls too much.
Does anybody?
Sometimes people they have different levels of how much they like or don't like fouls.
Well, I don't know if she really liked or disliked, but she did foul Sam Yencha then. But you know what? Let me go get that inbounds pass and make up for that foul. Good job, Kristen Tecklitz.
Good steal by the UMBC transfer, former Retriever.
Boy, you're shouting out the alma maters today, aren't you?
Love my Retrievers. Here's Howard. Levy, little floater, off glass, no good, or off the back rim, no good. Murphy clears the board. Here's Yencha. Robinson. Kaczynski, quick trigger, yes!
Emma Kaczynski, couple of big baskets here against this zone.
And the travel, the shift of the pivot foot there by Howard on the start of that play. It's still a 3-point Dominican lead.
I like Coach Diener playing the zone though, because what you see is Jefferson being very stationary. Kaczynski has knocked down a couple of shots, but I like the fact that the zone has made them stationary, and just as I say that, he changes and goes man-to-man.
Robinson, Yencha's jumper, no good. Levy comes out of there with it, swings it down to Suarez in rhythm.
And what a nice job by Olivia Levy, realizing that Alexis Suarez had leaked out. Great headman pass for the open layup.
Robinson. Again wanting Murphy, but nothing there. Yencha. Meinl now does feed Cassie. Little left-hand floater is good. Cassie Murphy insisting on the ball and making it happen.
Boy, Endicava did a great job of pushing her off of the block, almost to the mid-post, but Murphy's still able to finish with the left hand.
Levy slings it along for Howard. Stripped of the ball, out of bounds, and it'll be Jefferson ball.
Well, here we are, partner, at that immediate timeout, and Jefferson is able to cut the 7-point halftime deficit to 3, and really playing much more aggressively in the first 5+ minutes of this third quarter.
Dominican 47, Jefferson 44. We'll go to a break. You're watching the CACC Championships on the CACC Network.
Through Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android TV, and the iTunes app.
All right, midway through the third quarter here, a little bit past that, and the Chargers continue to keep that lead. Each time the Rams have gotten it to this 3 or 2-point deficit, Dominican has come right away with a basket to extend it. This team's not going away.
This is why you're such a good broadcaster, because of that comment. I was thinking the exact same thing. You know, twice in this third quarter, you saw Jefferson get within 3. This marks the third time. Each time Dominican, and it was Kayla Howard both times, making baskets. You're right. They just don't want to, you know, lose this lead.
Robinson. Kaczynski thought about backdoor, but couldn't get there. Here's Meinl. Meinl off glass, won't go. Levy the board. Here's Suarez. Suarez. Meinl cuts her off. Levy. Suarez, still 12 to shoot. Here's Alexis. And DeCava. And DeCava strong to the goal. She's fouled.
You said it so correctly. And DeCava really just taking it right at Cassie Murphy, catching the ball at the high post, making a strong move with her right hand. Just didn't finish, but good move by Chinenma Ndakaba.
Junior from Brooklyn, transfer out of Queens College. First free throw is good by the health sciences major. Had 13 rebounds against Holy Family as her high water mark. Started the beginning of the season, was a starter for this team, has kind of found her niche off the bench. 6 points today, and it's a 5-point lead again for the Chargers. Here's Meinl. Robinson, left baseline, now a little stutter, and she'll get to the line. So that little move there by Robinson, enough to draw the contact.
And Morgan Robinson really is trying to set Tanasia Mills up, slowed down, hesitation, let me go again, shifted gears, and that's Mills' third personal foul. Both Mills and Levy now, each with 3 fouls for the Chargers.
There's really nothing Mills really could do about that, and you said the 3 fouls on Levy and Mills, so those are key players you pointed out even before the game as being the ones to kind of make sure that the Chargers stay in it, and they have done that. But now you worry about those 3 fouls if either of them pick up a fourth with 3:13 to play third quarter. Here's Ndukaba. Tried to thread the needle there and was a little bit behind Mills. And the turnover gives it back to the Rams.
Well, and you saw Ndukaba really trying to find Mills, but Mills really wasn't looking for the pass. And let's see, can Jefferson get below this 3-point mark? 4th time here in the third quarter that they've gotten it to 3.
Here's Kaczynski. Robinson. Morgan's jumper from 18 doesn't go. And Ndukaba, another nice rebound in traffic.
Boy, Cassie Murphy really wanted it inside on that trip.
Suarez leaves it for Mills, and Ndukaba can't hang on. Meinl finds it. Pass down to Yencha. Robinson in transition. Lays it off glass, no good. Tightrope the sideline is Mills. Crowd didn't love it. They thought it was out, but it looked good. 3-pointer won't go for, that's 22. Elle Nittinger, we haven't seen her in the first half. Waverly, New York, transfer out of Nyack/Alliance. And a steal. Here's Mills, 2-on-1. Mills feeds Suarez. Back across to Tanasia. And Levy for 3, buries it. Oh, Olivia Levy hits the 3, and it's a 5-point game again.
Big shot by Levy. And Jefferson in the 2 possessions just didn't really get the ball into players where they could score, resulting in some turnovers.
Yencha off glass gets the answer.
And that's a really great pass by Emma Kaczynski. And just like that, you saw Jefferson in that possession realizing we got to get things going more towards the basket.
Last basket for Levy, she was on the line. It was a 2, so it did properly make it a 5-point lead. Here's Suarez. And the 3 from the left angle, no good by Nittinger. And in traffic there, scooting it out of there is Robinson. Gets it to Meinl for the foul line jumper and gets the roll. 6 points for Haley. Almost stolen away. 3-on-2. all the way across. Nittinger this time drives, lost it out of bounds. So a 1-point Dominican lead as we go to Angelina DeMarsico for the Chargers in place of Mills. So not wanting to get in the last defensive possession here, a foul on your first team all-conference player. Bring in DeMarsico. And a chance though for the Rams to take the first lead of the game, Coach.
Well, and here it is. Just a spirited third quarter.
And Murphy puts it ahead. Rams 52, Chargers 51.
First time that the Rams have had the lead today.
Here's Levy. 1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock here in the third quarter. And a little hand check. It's just a second team foul, but that didn't look like much, Coach.
Well, and the other thing is, you know, not only was it just so a very innocuous, but look where it happens. It's 40 feet from the basket. There's no disadvantage or advantage. Let him play.
52-51, Jefferson leads. Shot clock is off now with that reset. And now, another foul underneath. I think they're gonna get Apple maybe.
And the difference with this foul is it results in the possession now occurring underneath the basket.
Levy gets it in. Here's Suarez. Meinl on her. Two great players against each other here. And stolen away by Robinson. 1 second, 0, that will be short. So a great play by Morgan Robinson to disrupt things there. And if there had been a foul, though, against Dominican, that would have been the 15th foul. So they're lucky there wasn't a foul called on that little scramble.
Well, and you see just the tenaciousness of Jefferson in that 10 minutes in the third quarter. Finally, you know, wrestling the lead away. And you see the Rams finally with a lead.
We go down to our friend, Andrew Byrne.
Thanks so much, guys. And JR, you hit the nail right on the head. You talked about that tenaciousness. Dominicans turned the ball over almost 20 times today. Jefferson's on a run. You expect good teams to go on a run. They close the third quarter strong. They take a lead into the fourth quarter. Dominican head coach Bill Diener talking about possessing the basketball, taking care of the rock. We'll see if Dominican can get back on track and limit those turnovers in the fourth quarter. And what did Coach Shirley mention at the half? More drives for Jefferson. The recipe for success for them, get to the basket. Back to you guys.
Hey, thank you, Andrew. So just 10 turnovers by Jefferson. And as great a game as Dominican has played, as Andrew just said, and as Coach told his team, taking care of the basketball is going to be paramount in these last 10 minutes.
Well, and Coach Shirley made a conscious choice in the locker room to come out and play full court man-to-man pressure defense, and it's resulted in speeding Dominican up offensively. They still scored in the third quarter, but the momentum has changed.
Robinson, Kaczynski. It's the starting five of Robinson, Kaczynski, Yencha, Meinl, and Murphy for the Rams. Here's Murphy. Meinl, why not? Comes up short though. DeMarsico the rebound.
Now they just have not shot the ball well from the perimeter all day today, and credit Dominican's defense in that.
Jefferson creeping back up in their percentage to 47%, but started off at such a low number and trying to catch back up. Suarez, a lot of contact, nothing there. Murphy in traffic, grabs the rebound. That's a strong rebound by a solid defensive player.
Well, Cassie Murphy has really been commanding the ball down on the block for the Rams, and you see there defensively just snatching that rebound away, really playing a strong second half for the Jefferson Rams.
Here's Robinson now, leads it for Kaczynski. Robinson tries to feed it inside to Murphy. It's off of her fingertips, out of bounds.
There's a lot of hands in the lane. A little bit of a force by Morgan Robinson. Good job by Dominican getting that big turnover and stopping Jefferson twice to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when you have a big lead and have it whittled away, you really need to keep contact and not let that 1-point lead turn into 7. Then all of a sudden you're questioning things. Here is Suarez, and is able to fight off a couple of defenders there and keep possession. Mills, Howard, lost it. Yensha picks it up. Here's Robinson. Back outside to Meinl. She collects. Plenty of time. And they're going to get Suarez just trying to disrupt things in there.
Kind of an unfortunate foul against Alexis Suarez. As, you know, she's just really trying to take Morgan Robinson away. I don't think Billy Dino will be upset with that foul. We're going to see an offensive foul on Cassie Murphy here, trying to establish position inside.
Yeah, Tech did a nice job there of holding her position and not letting Murphy take where she wants to go. Because when Cassie Murphy wants to go somewhere, she usually gets there. She knows the right spot. She knows especially offensively there. So that offensive foul will give the ball back to the Chargers. Reminder that second game coming up here about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Then we'll take a break, and around 5 o'clock we'll have the men's semifinals here from the Gallagher Center. And tomorrow, the winner of this game will take on the winner of our second game today between Holy Family and Post. That's at noon, and then at 2:30 or thereabouts we'll have the championship for the men. So great job here by the Jefferson staff, as always, and the BTV staff of getting this production going here. And we have an exciting game for you. We're hoping we have 3 more just like this, Coach.
Well, this is a tremendous time of year like we talked about in our opening. And you know what? When you get to this stage of the season and the stage of the tournament, we're going to see good games. It's rare that we get really lopsided games at this level because you have really good teams that are playing. And we're seeing that today. I mean, Dominican is giving everything to Jefferson today. And Jefferson being the overall #1 seed, Dominican certainly not playing in any fear of that today.
Jefferson made it to the finals last year, losing to U Sciences. Of course, U Sciences closing its Division II program, so we knew going into the season we'd have a new champion, and we kind of figured that Jefferson would be around with the whole team coming back from a team that went to the finals and was an NCAA. In fact, they won a game in the NCAA tournament last year. Here's Suarez. Tecklitz. Down to Levy. What a fancy pass. The ball hit the guy wire up top, though, which kind of hovers over the court a little more than usually you see it hover the other way over the court, but the size of this gym makes that come into play sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make. You know, any sort of long shot, you know, with a high rebound could hit that.
All my shots would hit that.
Don't sell yourself short, partner.
Oh, goodness. Here's Murphy at the elbow. Rebound by Yensha. Robinson to Murphy, lays it in. The right hand this time for Cassie.
Terrific play by Morgan Robinson, getting that rebound and finding an open Cassie Murphy for the layup.
Here's Mills. Suarez surveying. Mills again. Nice extra pass to Levy. No good. Offensive rebound, though. And a straight up 3 by Mills won't go. Tip back out. And a foul's going to go against Mills. Maybe number 4, Coach.
Yep. And she had a really great look straight on for that 3, as you see it right here. And it really misses everything. And that loose ball comes out. And she wanted to make a play. And this is an interesting move by Billy Dino, leaving her on the floor. A lot of game left as you see Angelina DeMarsico coming off the bench. I bet you that's for Tenasia Mills.
Meinl has it taken away by Techlitz. They're going to say it stays with the Rams, though, and that will let Lena DeMarsico come in, the junior from North Rockland High School, which we mentioned earlier. Got 2 North Rockland players, to keep me honest here.
Boy, I hope you're getting paid for this little stuff that you're saying.
I'm sure Joe Cassarella is excited about that. Baseline jumper is in and out, halfway down for Yencha, and a foul as Murphy came in. And they will get her for her 3rd.
Boy, Yencha's shot, almost down, and you see it go in and out. That could have been Yencha as well as Murphy there, but that would have been a big basket to extend the lead to 5.
Techlitz. DeMarsico for 3. Buries it. 3-pointer for the junior business major out of Stony Point. The transfer from Nyack with her first 3-pointer of the game. And we're tied at 54.
Big basket by DeMarsico. Shot from the elbow.
That one comes up short. Techlitz the rebound. Robinson not giving up on it, but the Chargers clear. Here's Suarez. 12 to shoot. An offensive foul on the moving screen. It's going to be the 3rd on Techlitz.
And you know what? I want to see this on the replay, because she might have gotten a raw deal here. And you see Suarez wanting the screen. Well, I think, you know what? She kind of moved into it, and then she put her hand out. It's a really tough call. Might
have been just enough sideways, and if you don't call it, then the offensive player is getting a disadvantage. Here is Kaczynski for 2, no good. Gets it back. Robinson, too high for Emma.
I don't know if I've watched Jefferson play about 5 or 6 times this year. I don't know if I've seen them shoot the ball this poorly from the perimeter all year. Just can't make perimeter jump shots today.
Tied at 54. Here's Levy. Nada Howard. Suarez. Nice feed to Techlitz for the layup.
Great patience by Dominican to find Techlitz wide open and give Dominican credit. Retakes the lead.
Meinl drives, lost it, stays with the Rams. Coach Diener's wondering how, but sometimes that's one you don't want to call the foul. Looks like maybe it tipped off Suarez, maybe.
I think Billy Diener's right.
Might have been off Meinl there, that last level right hand, but the layup is good by Kaczynski. Scored the basket and a chance for a 3-point play.
And you know what, Joey? Let's remember this. 5 if the Rams end up winning this game, that call that didn't favor Dominican, that's a big basket and a change of events right here.
4 fouls on Levy now, so decision time again for Coach Diener with 5:02 to play. Follow is no good, but a foul as Martha Apple has only played a few minutes today, but she's really made her presence felt.
And you know what? That's now 4 personal fouls on Kristen Techlitz, and that's the 3rd Dominican player with 4 personal fouls. But you see again, the offensive rebound for Jefferson resulting in this opportunity.
Timeout on the floor for shouldn't have been immediate timeout yet at 5:01, but it felt like more time went off that, so they'll kind of sort things out, but we'll stay right here and talk about that right now. I think you brought up a good point there, Coach. 3 of the starters for Dominican, and you're talking about 3 really important players, Levy, Mills, and Techlitz, with 4 fouls. I don't know if Coach Diener, though, has a choice in a game so tight like this to leave got to leave 2 of them in there.
Well, and he's got the ability to take one of the guards out because Angelina DeMarsico can play for one of them. Chidinma and DeCava can go in for Kristen Tecklitz as well. And there is 5 minutes. There's a lot of time left in this basketball game. And the last thing that you want is to see somebody foul out this early. So I think you've got to be mindful. And the other thing, I think this is the first time today that we see somebody in the bonus where free throws are going to happen because of team fouls. Been a pretty clean game for the most part.
Yeah, with those fouls just bunched up. I mean, you have 12 of the 16 fouls going against the Chargers, going against 3 players. So, I know if you're trying to if you wish you could sort those things out better if you're the coach, but it's not something you can do. But all you can do now is just extra discussion with those 3 players of, look, we've got the last 5:01 plus maybe in overtime. We need you in there. We need you to, if the choice is between blocking a shot and maybe committing the foul or letting someone go, at this point you might need to let them go, and that might change in the last minute of the game.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful of that. I think what they're doing is they're looking at the clock here. I think they're trying to see if and I think what they're doing is they're taking 3 seconds off the clock and putting the time at 4:58.
Yeah, it felt like with 5:01, I was kind of had that media timeout in my head, and as that ball was inbounded, it looked like Apple was kind of playing around there enough with it that a second had run off, and they did go properly to the media timeout, and they have reset that clock to 4:58 just for making sure that that's all set properly. And those 3 seconds, we may come down at the end of the game and see where that went. But in any case here, it'll be Apple with a couple of big free throws here. 1 more to go for the sophomore from Ruckersville, Virginia, just north of Charlottesville. Played at Ronald Reagan High School in San Antonio before that for 2 years.
That's interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard the 40th president have his own high school.
Inbound, and I think she moved to the line. Yeah, not a 5-second violation, but as she moved in, you can run the baseline, but you can't step on the inbound portion of the court.
Yeah, she stepped over the end line, resulting in that violation.
Robinson. Here's Morgan. Robinson looking. Tries the jumper from 17 or so. Won't go. Tie up is going to go back to the Chargers.
Now, Yensha almost was able to wrestle that rebound away. I'm not sure who it was for Dominican. We'll get a look right here as you see Robinson's shot hits the front rim. And look at that. It's Olivia Levy. Good job by the guard, wrestling with the post player and Sam Yensha, forcing the tie-up.
So now all 3 Dominican players with 4 fouls are on the floor. Levy Mills with Tecklitz just checking in. And stolen away by Meinl. Gets it to Kaczynski. She can't handle it, though. And then a foul's going to go the other way.
Now, good defense by Dominican. After the mistake of the turnover, not quitting on the play, not letting Jefferson get the easy layup.
It's the 5th team foul, or 3rd team foul against Jefferson. So it's 5 against Dominican. So 1 more to give for the Rams. And then we'll see free throw shooting, which is a strength of both of these teams generally. How that might play in the final 4:20 of this game. A smoking good game, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Levy. Mills. Mills with Yensha on her. Suarez back out to Mills. Howard thought about the 3. Yensha closed quickly. 8 to shoot. Suarez with Robinson on her. Suarez lost it. Blocking foul.
Wow. Morgan Robinson. I don't know how much contact there was. We're going to get a look right here. She did bump her a little bit. That's a good call.
Maybe the right knee getting in there a little bit too quickly. Trying to beat her to the spot, but good job by Suarez to take it to the goal. It'll be the third foul on Robinson. So 3 on Robinson, 3 on Murphy is the foul trouble for the Rams. As Suarez will have 1 more to go. And we're going to talk about how these teams are so strong free throw shooting, but today we've seen some misses. First one by Dominican, as Jefferson has missed 4.
And DeCaba back in for Tecklitz. I like that substitution, especially here on the defensive end.
Meinl has it knocked away from her. Somehow went out. No, the back official may change this call. He is going to. They said it was off the leg of Haley Meinl. So that back official had a better view of it. Let's see our view of it. And that's a good call right off her left leg there by the knee.
And you know what? Not only did it go off Meinl's leg, it went right between the legs of Ndakaba, like it had eyes.
Tied at 57. Here's Mills. Now, at what point, I feel like Dominican has played a lot more tight games during the season. Where does that come into play here for Dominican and for Jefferson, which has honestly had a lot of games where in the fourth quarter they're playing garbage time?
Well, and it's a good point. You know, every possession now is so critical on both ends of the floor. And you see, you know, a foul on Martha Apple as Ndakaba kind of ran through her. But, you know, Dominican, you're right. You know, they've played more, you know, last possession kind of games.
1 more coming for the junior out of Brooklyn, 1,000-point scorer at the Academy of Young Writers High School. Misses both here, and we stay tied at 57.
Now 2 big missed free throws there would have given Dominican the lead.
Robinson now calls out a play.
2-3 zone again by the Chargers.
Tipped away and out of bounds, so the semi-unforced error. I think Mills kind of got in the way there a little, but really an unforced error.
Well, and you see offense, defense by Coach Diener. Ndakaba going off the floor, Tecklitz coming back on, and the same thing for the Rams as Martha Apple checks in for Cassie Murphy.
Suarez with Robinson on her. For Mills, back to Lexi. Nice feed to Mills, blocked from behind, but a foul on Meinl.
Boy, what a great play. That high screen. You see the high back screen right there. And let's see if Meinl does get her with the body. Wow, that's a great block. Wow. Wow, I don't know about that one, partner.
Yeah, I didn't see the body. Usually sometimes the official has to see the miss to call that, to not call that a foul just by the way it looks, but you also don't want to anticipate a call that's not there.
Well, and I think your last statement's right on the money. I think that might have been the case, the anticipation of either hitting the hand or getting the body on that foul.
Mills a perfect 4 of 4 from the line, as Dominican now is 12 of 15 from the stripe. 59-57 Chargers.
Man-to-man defense this time by Dominican.
Keefe is in there now. Tracked down by Meinl. Here's Robinson. Robinson, little floater is short. Scramble for it. Morgan the follow.
And she just stayed with it to get a rebound for the putback.
Suarez. Mills thought about the 3. Run some time. Here is Levy. Now to Suarez. Batted away. Kept alive, and a timeout called for by Bill Diener. Smart coach play right there, because that preserves the possession. You want to save your timeouts for the last minute to advance ball, but that time this possession is more important.
Well, and you see with Olivia Leaving hitting the floor, she might have walked, and right before that, you know, Watch her roll right here, and right before she does that, he was calling the timeout.
And a held ball there is going to go back to Jefferson, so it's another consideration that you want to make sure. In these possessions here, every possession is precious. Every turnover, every offensive rebound, anything like that is going to be multiplied here and magnified in the last 2:20.
Man, what a game. Holy cow, what a start to our day. And give Dominican so much credit. Once they lost the lead, it would have been really easy to see Jefferson kind of extend it. Boy, Dominican has not allowed that. They have really fought so hard here in the fourth quarter.
Tied at 59. 3 seconds, long three by Suarez. It did tick the very edge of the rim. It did. And the offensive rebound tracked down by Mills. Here's Suarez. And the pass is knocked away by Murphy.
Great play by Cassie Murphy as Morgan Robinson got tied up and fell down. Murphy just was able to get in the passing lane for that steal.
It might have been a layup with Robinson on the floor. Murphy. Jumper from the elbow. No good. Yensha tries for the offensive rebound. Who's it off? It stays in. And a travel.
Now the double team by Yensha and Robinson forced Suarez into that travel.
Suarez insisting on her pivot foot staying down. Hard for us to see from this angle, but it'll be Haley Meinl to inbound. Robinson. Murphy. Laying off her, letting her shoot it. She says, okay, I'll shoot it.
And DeCava backed off, and Murphy knocks down the open elbow jump shot.
Here's Levy. And DeCava, step through, lays it in. We're tied again.
Great move by DeCava, wanting it inside, sets up the up and under move.
Under a minute to play. Here's Robinson. Meinl, Keefus. Blocking foul.
Boy, that's a tough call against Tanasia Mills, and that will be her fifth.
Here we'll see it. Oh, she fouls out. Let's see. There's a little extension of the elbow. Not really, and it's a hard call. She's with her defensively. That's a close one.
I tell you what, Billy Diener's upset when he watches it over again. He's going to realize it was a good call. Even though Keefus kind of lowered her shoulder, there was tons of contact where there was disadvantage given to the offensive player.
Yeah,
I do think it was a good call.
You can be moving as a defensive player, staying in defensive position, but when you cut off that spot, that's where you're going to get that foul. And Keefus unties the score. The junior from Yardley, Pennsylvania, gives the Rams a 1-point lead. And a 2-point lead, and a timeout will allow Coach Diener to advance the ball to the front court. And now we're talking about 46 seconds, 45.6 seconds. If you're the Chargers, do you go for the kind of NBA 2-for-1 here? Or do you just, I got to get a good shot no matter what because I'm down 2?
I got to get a good shot. I want to try, and you know what? I think I want to try to isolate one of my bigs, and I want to get the ball going to the basket. Now, if Jefferson does a good job of either doubling down or taking the post away, now we want to get the ball back to the perimeter and reverse the ball and either look for an open perimeter jump shot or attack it off the dribble. Watch Angelina DeMarsico here on some sort of ball reversal, getting a good look and shooting the ball, or Kayla Howard.
DeMarsico in there as the three-point threat, second on the team with now 45 on the season and a 37% marksman. Suarez to inbound. Just gets it in. 4.1 seconds. Levy. Tecklitz. Tecklitz directing traffic. Tecklitz drives. Blocking foul.
Yeah, and you know what? That's almost, I don't want to use the word makeup, but it's almost, you know what? Let's see, is that Atlas not there? That's a really good call. Tecklitz did a good job trying to get it going to the basket, and Atlas slides in under her. Good call by the official on the block.
We've seen Tecklitz a couple of times from that position have the option of feeding one of her teammates for 3 or doing that little turn drive. That time, that drive works and gets the free throws here. First one's good. Calmly sinking the first point of the game for the redshirt junior out of Waverly, New York, is in Tioga County, east of Elmira, coach. She ties the game.
And we see a timeout by Jefferson to advance the ball and give Tecklitz so much credit. Pressure-packed situation, knocks down both free throws.
Just calmly sinks them like they were nothing. We've seen all season teams, a lot of games have come down to just a couple of seconds left, and most of the time these ladies and these guys on the men's squad, they've knocked down those free throws.
All right, there's a .2 shot clock, game clock differential, so but by all accounts, Jefferson, they can hold for this last shot if they want to. I think you want to try one of two things. You want to try to isolate Haley Meinl for a dribble drive or look to get the ball inside. I would almost bet either Sam Yencha or Cassie Murphy is going to get the ball in and around the basket. Now, Dominican, to combat that, do they play zone this trip to not allow that dribble, the post entry, to force a perimeter jump shot? You know, I mean, it might be a good thing to not allow that inside opportunity because Jefferson hasn't shot it well from the perimeter today.
And we already know that Jefferson's not a three-point shooting team. The mid-range jumpers, though, they do those. So for whatever reason, it just doesn't extend. But they are normally a much better perimeter shooting team, much better shooting team in general than we've seen today. But yeah, a lot of options here, both offensively and defensively. The Rams with just a lot of choices here on what they can do, and they've got their starting 5 out there.
Possession arrow favors Jefferson as well.
Here's Robinson. Robinson is whittling some time off here.
And Dominican is playing man-to-man.
Here's Morgan. Spread here all across the floor. Down to 10, she starts. Robinson. Robinson, nowhere to go. 2 seconds, 1. Coach, we're going to overtime.
Great defense by Dominican. Great defensive set by Dominican. Just too much dribbling of the basketball.
Now, did the clock run out with .2 to go because there was a .2 differential, as you mentioned, Coach? Is that a shot clock violation, or did the ball go out of bounds?
Well, it's a great point because you're right. It was 30.2. So it should be a shot clock violation.
Yeah, there should be .2 remaining here. I know you can't do a lot with .2, but we've seen some things happen in games with .2.
Well, as silly as it sounds, you know, is there a foul committed or anything, right? I can't imagine that it would happen, but nonetheless.
Could a team be out of timeout? We won't go there.
Yeah.
63-63 is the score here. I did say overtime, but I think you're right. I think there is a fraction of a second, because you had nailed it. It was 30 seconds to go, or 30.2 seconds to go on the start of that last possession. There was nothing in that scramble that would make me think that there was possession by the Chargers.
Now, once the shot clock should expire, that should stop that clock and have it be at .2 seconds left.
And I don't think they're looking at video, but the only thing they could be looking at is there a possession here that would then reset the shot clock either way, or only one way, because if Dominican gets possession, that resets the shot clock and then it clears it out. And the officials are, I believe, going to put that .2. I'd say the officials have done a really good job. This has been a top-notch crew today.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Andrew Byrne is kind of signaling to us that there will be .2 seconds on the clock. Yep, there will be 0.2 seconds put on the clock. Good job, Andrew, right there.
But could have just asked Andrew instead of me speculating.
Exactly.
I got him right there. Andrew's there.
Exactly. And then
What's the matter with me?
Andrew,
there he is. We're going to go to Andrew.
Go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, guys. So, yes, it appears that they're going to put 0.2 of a second back on the clock and give the ball to Dominican. The officials are still checking to see if the shot clock has 0.1 of a second with the game clock. But, yep, you can see 0.2 of a second left before we go to overtime. Back to you guys.
All right. And so, again, 0.2, you can basically catch the ball in the air and shoot. You can, if your pass is way down, you can tip it, and that's pretty much all you can do with 0.2. It's under 0.3, or of course there can be a foul. And if there's a foul on the play before the clock starts, really, maybe on the pass is in and everyone leaps for it, and they call a foul on either team. Both teams are in the bonus here. Of course, the Chargers, it would be an offensive foul, so it wouldn't be shooting. But if the Jefferson commits a foul.
Yeah, I was just going to say this, and Billy Diener did it. I would call a timeout to advance the ball. Yeah.
Which they can do because it's a new possession. They didn't start moving the ball up the court. So you might as well use that timeout. Now, our monitor looks like they have now 0 left. You get one less timeout with the media timeouts coming into play. So there's 4 than they would normally get. But now it does give you the chance to kind of lob the ball up.
Exactly.
Maybe Ndukaba or somebody to kind of just be there. And if like the tip is close to being something that might work, you might see a player defend it and try to knock it away and commit a foul.
And that's what you'd want to do. Maybe set a back screen near the free throw line and a little alley-oop, throw it at the basket as Coach Andrewsen is putting his hands up. Man, he looks like maybe Ndukaba.
Hey, he's saying Ndukaba also, like I said.
Or maybe you, Mike, or maybe you. We should put you down there, for it.
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play. All right, it'll be Suarez to inbound, and now
here comes the back screen. Levy will set the back screen on Murphy. Let's see if they're going to get a little switch. You know what? If I'm Cassie Murphy, I'm going to the arc. I'm not guarding her out there. This is set up for Ndukaba to get a look at it.
There's the pass. Almost snuffed behind. That was the play.
I'll tell you what, if that pass was a little bit higher, that could have been interesting.
Now we're going to overtime, Coach.
Good job.
All right, now we go to overtime.
Good job.
A little premature overtime there, but now you look at 5 minutes and we play the game as if it's an extension of the fourth quarter. Each team gets one more timeout. And it's both teams are in the bonus. They've cleared the team fouls on the board, but that's not correct. It's 5 team fouls. They can clear them, but it's still 5 team fouls. You're extending regulation. So both teams will shoot on common fouls, two free throws the rest of the game. And yeah, you'll see now 5 minutes to decide who's going to the championship game.
Exactly. I just want to know, as Tim Jimenez is walking towards us, Mike Andrewsen came up with a great play. Now Timmy Jimenez has got to do something today. He's got to do something.
He's got to do something. Go get a
He's
sambwich.
going to get something to drink now.
He's getting a sandwich. He's thinking about. He's got 5 more minutes before the postgame show.
He's spent, man. He is spent. He's spent. Coach Andrewsen, he's saying to himself, you know what? I gave my impetus. I'm done.
All right, now they also reset the possession arrow, and they will do a new jump here. It'll be Ndukaba jumping with Murphy for the first possession here of the first overtime, Coach. They might have more than one. Suarez collects and smartly waits for everyone to come over. Sometimes you get that when you forget which way you're going and commit the backcourt, but good play by Suarez. She has it now. Here's Lexi. Suarez gets it to Ndukaba. Ndukaba just flips it up. Oh my goodness, is this the day for the Chargers?
Sometimes you got to be luckier than good, and Ndukaba pretty lucky right there.
Here's Kaczynski now to Yencha. Yencha takes. Ndukaba the board.
Again, did everything right, but put it in the basket.
Here's Suarez. Levy. Ndukaba wants the ball. Here's DeMarsico to Ndukaba. Ndukaba spins, nowhere to go, lost it to Yencha. Eventually, Murphy with the initial slap away. Robinson lost it. Stays with the Rams, though, with 21 to shoot.
You know, Jefferson has really just, in these last couple of minutes and here, just gotten very stationary again on offense.
Kaczynski off the back iron, no good. Murphy, the good position defense, offensive rebound, and she'll get to the free throw line.
Well, Cassie Murphy really understands how to get position. It's an excellent point that you just made. Knew how to use her body. You see it right here. She's going to use her body as she moves Ndukaba into the lane, and then a good up and under move to draw the contact to get to the line.
Double-double with now 16 points as she misses the free throw, though. Again, an 81% free throw shooter. One more to come for the sophomore from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, just up the road from Philadelphia. Second free throw is good, and it's a 1-point Chargers lead at 65-64.
Boy, the Rams, it's amazing the just poorness in the way they've shot the basketball today, just collectively.
In comparison to what you're expecting and what this team usually does.
Absolutely.
Here's Suarez. Levy. Suarez drives, swatted away by Meinl, taken by Robinson. Here's Morgan. Morgan. Yencha. Here's Robinson again. Robinson with it. Meinl. Apple. Yencha, now Robinson, 7 to shoot. Apple. Lost it. Levy, 2-on-1. Morgan can't finish. Or Howard, that is, can't finish. Back the other way, it's Morgan Robinson. And a foul on Tech, it's going to be 5.
What a crazy possession as the Rams again just overpassed probably and then results in a turnover. Craziness at the other end. Howard misses a really good opportunity. May have committed a foul herself or Meinl committing a foul, either way. And then you see Tecklitz just reaching in on Robinson to pick up her disqualification foul.
2 free throws coming for Morgan. 19 points now as she ties the game at 65. Five assists to go with those 18. And now Robinson gives the Rams the lead at 66-65. I think time of the game with the lead has deeply in favor of Dominican, but they trail by a point. Levy. High for DeMarsico, she's got it. And Ndukaba lays it in.
Great move by Ndukaba to get around Apple for the layup.
Nice catch and a little feed by DeMarsico as well, and it's a Dominican lead by a point now. Kaczynski, Apple. Meinl. Good ball movement to Kaczynski, lost it.
That's good defense by Dominican and a good no call by the official.
Here's Levy. And Ndukaba. To Marsico. Back up top. It's Suarez. Suarez spins. Foul.
It's going to be on Apple. Apple just reaching in. Probably didn't even need to do that.
So it'll put Suarez at the line, as of course both teams over the limit here. And Alexis with 17 points today. Make it 18, 5 of 6 from the free throw line from the Dutchess County native. Buries the 2. We're seeing great free throw shooting down the stretch too. Chargers by 3.
Still in man-to-man is Dominican as Robinson is able to blow by.
Good play by Morgan Robinson there to make it a 1-point game. Here's Suarez. And Ducaba in and out. Murphy the rebound. Couldn't get a better look there and almost got it to fall. Here's Robinson. Here's the thought of 2 for 1 here. Almost by default, you're going to get that with the timing. Meinl is knocked away from her and out of bounds. She thought it was slapped away.
Well, and you know what? I think they should look at this. I definitely think they should look at this because it's off Dominican.
And they can look at this on the video and see it's very close.
No, maybe not. I think Meinl did hit it out of bounds.
It was both almost simultaneously touched. And if you look there, the very, very, very end of it with Meinl, it's see how good our 3D, there's another angle there because that two-dimensional one was hard to tell from there exactly. We definitely saw Levy touch it as we get the review here. Let's look at it again, or Ndukaba. So the drive is toward the basket. It's tipped.
Well, it's tipped there, but watch.
And is it touched there? We can't. Which of the two players? Was it Levy or Meinl or both?
I tell you what.
It looks like Levy and Meinl both kind of touched it.
Now, it's simultaneous. Now, do you go to the arrow? Right?
Yeah, it's a held ball.
Right?
It's just like the ball getting stuck in the basket there. Where, you know, there's no, because you're offensive and defensive. There's a great angle. There's our great angle.
Simultaneous.
Maybe though, right there
at the end, it could have been
is
off
the very
Levy.
end off Levy.
Could have been off Levy at the end.
At the very, very end. So this is a tight call. This, I think, that other angle was the best one.
Right.
And these are what the officials are looking at. Same thing you're looking at right now at this great BTV crew. Look at this, what this crew got.
Yeah.
Coach, look at what this crew has gotten for us. All
BTV,
these angles,
baby.
And it's not just great because we've got a great view of the game. This is going to affect the game right here, having the right call made because of BTV.
Now, at the end, you see the slap of her hand, but the ball was resting in Levy's hand. You know, I'm almost thinking that it should be a held ball.
It's really close.
It's so close.
We can tell both have it there. Whose does it come off last? Is Levy touching it there? Until we have 3D television, Coach, we're not going to be able. It's like Ralph Cramden waiting for 3D television before he buys a set.
And who's in the middle of it? Dominic Damiano, baby. Dominic
Got
over
a lot
there.
of fans down here in our front row looking at our monitor to see the same thing, as they are still. This is not an easy decision right here, and it's with 40.2 seconds to go and a 1-point game. This is a very important decision right here, and I like the officials taking their time, making sure we get this right. We're going to be here all day anyway, Coach.
Exactly.
You know, Holy Family and Post are looking at this going, you know, if it's 2 or 3 overtimes more, they don't mind that either, because the winner of that game will take on a more tired team tomorrow. But
what does Mike Andrewsen think? Who's it off of, Mike? Who's it off of? Now, I don't think we can hear you though, Mike.
Left hand for Dominican, right hand for off. Right hand, he thinks it off Jefferson. All right, so we'll see who they give this call to. They are really, this is the Zapruder film right here, guys. Back into the left.
Actually,
back into the left as the ball flip.
Oh, they're checking time now. Now it's about the time. So it looks like they've made
13,
a decision.
Yeah, they're going to keep it with Jefferson, I suppose. And I think, you know, the coaches will look at this again later, and neither one will have they'll bring them in and they'll discuss it. So if what you're saying is right, is here we are. discussing things here right there.
It's going to be Dominican
ball. So
Dominican
that's
ball.
a very interesting.
Wow.
It was just so tight and so tough to call. So Mike Andrewson right again as usual.
Man, give
making the right call. Did he know everything so far?
Tim Jimenez, what are you doing today, Timmy?
Tim Jimenez is still eating his lunch. No, he's not. Here's Endicaba gets it in. Big defensive possession, obviously, to the Rams here, and the Chargers looking to put this one away, potentially. Stolen away by Mino. Haley Mino gets it to Yansho, raising up in the air. The defensive player of the year makes the defensive play of the year. Rams lead.
Presence of mind, though, of Coach Billy Dieter to call the timeout so that the ball could be advanced. That's a great job because the girls wanted to inbound it quickly.
If you inbound the ball, just for those of you who may not know the rule on it, if you inbound the ball and start up the floor, you can call a timeout, but you cannot advance the ball to the front court, and that's so important when you're trying to both conserve time and prevent, if there is some kind of a steal or whatever, the team of having an easy layup on the other side. They just got that timeout before the inbound. I like the idea, though, that Dominican has of, all right, they scored, let's go up, move right away. But again, if you didn't have timeouts left or what have you, that's a great play. But with that timeout, I think it's more important to bring the ball to the front court here. Look at this play. We're going to see a replay on it. We talked at the very beginning of the game of why she's the defensive player of the year. Just the right-hand slap, and then also credit here defensively by Levy. You said before, not giving up on the play. She didn't commit the foul there. Mino lucky with the trailer coming down, and again.
But Yensha running the floor, getting that loose ball for the layup.
Yeah, don't take for granted that foul or that steal is going to be followed by a layup. You know, if there's a missed shot of some kind or whatever, you want to be that extra trailer who comes down.
Andrew, what do we got, Andrew? They're actually checking the time, to see if the clock is correct.
Because remember, the clock stops on a made basket, and as the ball was inbounded, the clock may have started and kept going a little bit before that timeout was acknowledged. The timeout was called properly, we believe, and now they're checking to see if maybe there should be a little more time added. It may not be that important because I think this offensive possession, they're going to whittle it down to a certain number regardless of where it started. So whether it starts at 23.7 or 24, they're going to whittle it to a certain amount.
Right.
You know, at what point do you want to start your offense here? Maybe it's 6 to see if you can get an offensive rebound. You also don't want to leave the Rams a lot of time if you score. Suarez. Stolen away by Haley Mino, and a low ball is going to go back to the Rams. Mino, another great defensive play. Mike Andrewson said before the game, seeing someone be the defensive player in the year and the player of the year in the conference is kind of a rare thing, but you understand why when you watch Haley Mino play. Yeah, she scores 16 points a game, and yeah, she does all these things offensively, but she's only scored 6 points today. But has she been as important as anyone on this team today?
Well, and there's no question. And she's just made 2 of the biggest defensive plays that her team may have ever needed in this season. You're talking about, you know, possibly getting eliminated from this tournament, possibly losing the host to the regional tour. There's so many implications for Jefferson in this game. But the Dominican coaching staff, Jerry, they're looking for a travel here by Mino. Watch her get the ball, and let's see, is there any possession by Dominican? A little bit there by Suarez. Yeah, I think it's a good call. They were looking for her maybe as she was falling down, withholding it, maybe being called for a travel.
Because then it's a travel if you fall to the floor and you don't keep a dribble going. But now the timeout by Coach Shirley allows them to bring it to the front court and have the whole court to use to inbound. And DeMarsico commits the foul, and I don't think she meant to make it that strong a foul. A little sportsmanship there by DeMarsico and Keefus.
And a good foul by Angelina DeMarsico. because what'll happen is, they fouled a player who's, Emily Kiefer, who is a good free throw shooter, but she's not been in the game that often today.
Yeah, it's a good call by you right there. And DeMarco comes in, commits that foul, and it's in a position there where she was trying to slap away, and maybe she gets a steal, and if not, gets the foul that they need here in this situation anyway. And again, Jefferson, even if Kiefer makes these 2 free throws, we'll see this again here. So watch DeMarco. She kind of squares, and then all right, I'm going to go for that ball, but then the other hand is certainly a attempt at a foul there, and Kiefer goes down hard, and DeMarco's kind of right there, trying not to get the technical maybe also, but also that Red Raider spirit, Coach. It lives on.
Man, I got to tell you, your friends at North Rockland, they have to love you today. They have to love you today. I don't know anybody at North Rockland, but I'm like a North Rockland fan right now.
I'm glad.
Because of you.
DeMarco, a transfer from Nyack. When it was in Nyack, she had committed and played there, and now the school moving really to not in the county makes it a decision for her to move back to the county school. First free throw is good by Kiefer. It's a 2-point lead, so now this is a very important free throw here.
Dominican out of timeouts as well.
Second one rims out. 12 seconds. Can Tyler win here? Here's Levy, DeMarco. Step back 3 for the lead. Yes! Angelina DeMarco gives the Chargers the lead at 72-71 with the 3-pointer. Timeout, Tom Shirley.
Wow, what a big basket by Angelina DeMarco. Watch the step back on Emily Kiefer, just created space, and she knocks it down.
Buries it, nothing but net for the junior.
And they're screaming at North Rockland right now, baby.
They are, and the Chargers take the lead with 4 seconds to go, so now the timeout allows the Rams to bring it to the front court. And again, with 4 seconds, you can do pretty much everything offensively. You can get it down low. You can run a screen and still have time to come around a screen.
They're going to put a little more time back on the clock. I'm thinking maybe another like 4 or 5 tenths of a second is all they're going to put back. But I think there's going to be a couple of tenths of a second added, or maybe not. Doesn't look up. Yeah, 4.2. They added 2 tenths of a second.
All right, so with the ball being inbounded here.
Wow, what a shot by Angelina DeMarco.
Meinl to start things here. Let's see which way she goes with it. Meinl gets it across. Murphy for the win! Won't go! Dominican's gonna win and advance to the championship game of the CACC with a 72-71 win. What a game, Coach!
Incredible win for Dominican, and a tough shot for Cassie Murphy that doesn't go down, and the #1 seed has been defeated. Oh my!
Bill Diener's team comes in here, leads almost the entire game. The Rams go ahead. They could never push that lead higher. You mentioned it, Coach, that a #1 seed and a #2 team in the entire regional wins games by wearing people down, getting a lead, and then taking off. They never got a chance to do that today. So much credit to the Chargers today.
Well, they just never allowed Jefferson, not only to, they let him take the lead, but they never allowed him to expand on the lead. They never went away. Today. Just a monumental performance. Even when they got behind, such a big shot by Angelina DeMarco to send Dominican to tomorrow's final.
Exciting stuff here. Let's see if we are ready with Andrew Byrne, Angelina DeMarco, and Bill Diener. We are. Take it away, Andrew.
Thanks, guys. Angelina, the game-winning shot. What are you thinking with the ball in your hand and the seconds ticking off the clock in overtime?
The only thing that I was thinking was that I got to do this for my team. In my opinion, I have the best team. We're a family, and I had to do it for them.
How did you guys knock off a Jefferson club that had lost just one conference game all season long?
We were very determined. We knew that we had to come in here and punch first, because if we didn't, they were gonna come and hit us, and we were sure to jump the gun, and we got them. Sorry, there's like.
You guys go to overtime. A couple of your players foul out. You talk about that family. How'd you rally around the club and come out shorthanded with the win?
Listen, when our star player fouled out, we knew that as a team we had to come together and rise from that adversity. We talk about it every game. Rise from the adversity no matter what. No any doubts, fear, anxiety. That's all away when we play, and that's how we play every game.
Coach. Coach, we talked so much about Alexis Suarez and Tanisha Mills, but how about the glue guys, Angelita DeMarsico and DeCabo, who step up today to take down #1 Jefferson?
Listen, this is what we try to preach to our kids all year long. It's to stay together. Everybody's going to get a moment to hit a shot. Yes, Tanisha, yes, Lexi, yes, Liv, but this young lady comes in and just caught it with the confidence in herself, in herself and her teammates, and knocked down the shot. But hey, man, that was just a great, gritty game from both teams. Back and forth and back. Our kids never gave up. We defended well. I thought we shot the ball well, and we just stayed so close together. It was a great win for our kids.
Was that the play call to go for the three, or were you tacking to tie the game?
Right there, we were just looking to get the best shot we could. Lena caught the ball. Her basketball instincts took over and knocked the shot down.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Angelina.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys upstairs.
So I love what she said. I love what Coach said as well about how great a game it was back and forth. But let's not forget that if Tanisha Mills doesn't foul out of the game, maybe Lena DeMarsico's not in the game on that last play.
That's a great point. I like what she said, and you and I looked at each other the moment that she said it, because we talked about it in our opening. Dominican had to come out and really survive and punch first. It's a great acknowledgement and realization on that young lady's part, and the execution by Dominican. They weren't awed today. They came out today, and they came out swinging. Credit to the kids, the staff for a solid game plan, and the implementation of it. Just a tremendous win for Dominican.
I think, Coach, we said it when DeCabo made that crazy shot at the beginning of overtime. We said this might be the Chargers' day, and it certainly was.
Wow, fabulous game. And on to tomorrow goes Dominican.
All right, let's take it over now to Mike and Tim on the desk. Mike and Tim, how's your heart rate?
Oh, wow, you doing all right? That was quite the finish there. Woo.
If we're going to get 3 more of these,
yeah, exactly.
This is A-okay.
That was game 1. So, Mike, wow, I mean, this is, again, what DeMarsico said there was that they came out, they wanted to punch first. That's what she said, and they certainly did. And throughout the game, Jefferson was really playing catch-up, and they just could not get over the hump.
Even after that third quarter, where you and I were talking here off camera about, the start of the third quarter, the first 4 minutes, what's going to happen, Jefferson comes out 21-13 in the third quarter. You felt like they pulled the rope in that tug-of-war back to their side, but a 12-11 fourth quarter for Dominican, and then what the guys had said, Robinson hit the 2 free throws to go up 1 in overtime, and DeCabo made the layup. Suarez made the 2 free throws, then Mino with the 2 great defensive plays. Like, where else are we going? But it made 3 at the buzzer.
Right.
It was a terrific game. Hats off to Coach Diener and the staff. They put together a great game plan. It was a great game. And as much as, Ben was talking about the shooting, where Jefferson shot 43% today. For the year, they shoot 43%. Coach Diener said it on his side. He said, we make shots. We shot the ball great. They shot the ball 48% today and a season average of 39.
Right.
So they just shot the ball better. Going back to the Herb McGee.
Yeah, right, exactly. Got to make shots. And this is a Jefferson team that likes to run out. Only 8 fast break points here. Maybe that's part of it.
Yes.
Those in the beginning of the game, they had a lot of those easy shots, didn't go in as well.
There wasn't a lot of easy shots.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. It's a great way to button this up. You know, Jerry was talking about, does this hurt Jefferson's case moving forward? You know, they're going to make the regional tournament.
Right.
They're seated too high, but it might have had an opportunity to lose hosting the event. But that'll all play out when it plays out on Sunday at the regional call.
Exactly. So the game 1 is in the books, 72-71. Dominican with the win in overtime. Game number 2 coming up shortly within the next half hour or so. It is going to be Post and Holy Family. So for Mike Andrewson, I'm Tim Jimenez, and for the crew, Jerry Milani and Ben J. Ardenalo, Andrew Byrne on the sideline. We will be back coming up for the next game, game number 2. Thank you, everybody.